We got some old packing paper here that seems to be pretty good for, you know, kind of reaching in here. Rubbing around the edges, trying to pull out as much of everything in there as I can. Putting a little bit of dirt. And I just managed to scrape up there. Using it kind of like a wash rag, you know, to scoop out stuff. And it's my understanding that you mix this stuff, according to the instructions there, like 1/3 of water and 2/3 of mix. I think I will get me a tea jug full of water, and then I'm going to sit down here and we're going to get started. And it would be nice not to make an extraordinarily big mess out of all of this. And I think I may have a little of this paper. This is basically some packing paper. A lot of the companies are starting to ship things in paper instead of plastic. Oh, it's better for the environment. The nice thing about paper is you can use it again and again for this sort of thing. It says, prepare the surface, mix 3 to 1 mix, only enough for immediate use. Using the included scoop, add 1 scoop cold water to 3 scoops of dry log. Mix to a heavy consistency for slower setting and use colder water. Apply. Okay, so there's supposed to be a scoop in here holding that. I don't know what the process is for getting this open, but we will see if we can figure it out. Ooh, it's very powdery. I can tell that already. One thing it did say is to wet the thing that you're patching. Of course, I don't have to do that because where that was sitting outside, it's pretty wet already. This looks a lot like cement. It's a little extra dark. Nothing wrong with that. A couple little gardening spoons here should work pretty good for that. It breathes about like concrete too. Any of you that's ever worked around concrete? I used to have a concrete tanker. I breathed a lot of concrete in my time. Not the most pleasant taste to have in your throat. The idea that you can use it that quickly, is talking about having like a 3-minute drying time. That's pretty amazing. Let's see how that goes. I have a leak in my container. So, I just dumped my container right into there. And actually, if this dries as fast as they say it will, it may actually repair its own leak. Right there. It looked to me like that could have been mixed a goodly bit thinner. I must have a little hole in this bucket right over in here somewhere. It's okay, we can live with that. I'm going with a little bit more of that this time. Maybe a little less water. Yeah. Thicker. A little thicker than it was. After that first. And I'm just going to literally pour it right in there. I may want to shift this whole entire operation around this way so that I can get myself right over in here a little better. And I can see some signs of this hardening up already. It's good. That's what I want it to do. What will happen is as this dries, I'll be able to roll this over on the side and put some up in here. See, that's what it looks down in there. And you can see it is hardening up pretty quickly. If I poured it really thick down the side and it flowed down, but it also stuck. And it was a huge crack all the way around the bottom. You see these cracks up in here. What I'll do is, once I've got this pretty well coated all the way around, I'll roll it over on its back and I'll put some up in there where those cracks are. And there's also going to be some cracks up in here. So I want to also roll that around and get some in there too. But that has about the right look for what I want. I could make this a lot neater, but there's no real large need to make it pretty. We just want it to be good and effective. So I'm going to mix up another thick mix like that and try to splash some up in here. See how that works. I mentioned a while ago that I used to drive a cement tanker. That doesn't mean that I'm driving like a mixer truck where you're carrying wet cement. If you did, it would be hardening up. You basically, when you drive a cement tanker, you're hauling the powder or the dust. Cement dust is what I used to call it, because it is very dusty. Anyone who's ever gotten a shower in cement dust will know exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of times they'll have great big towers and they'll pump with air pressure from the truck. They'll pump cement dust up those towers. And if you take your hoses loose while that cement dust is up in there, it will come down and it will coat you from head to toe and turn you into sort of a cement zombie. Which had happened to me before. And there's other horror stories I can tell you about hauling cement, but we won't get into that right now. I don't want to be chitter-chattering while I'm doing this, because I'll lose focus of where I'm trying to put it. And what I'm trying to... Just remind me later to tell you about some things. Well, I guess I can tell you about some things now. On a cement truck, you run a giant air pump, and you pump air into the tank, and then you have a hose that comes out of the bottom of the tank, and that air going into the tank pumps the dust out through a hose, which you can then pump up into a tower or something like that. Now, there's a few things you don't want to do. You don't want to go up on top of a truck that's been pressurized without making sure all the pressure's off of it and open one of those lids. Because if you do, there's enough pressure there to kill you. That lid can fly up and hit you and dismember you or something like that. Those are things you want to be pretty careful about. I think it's going to work out good. I'd like to mix up. I don't want to get too big of a rush, because if I'm not careful, I'll mix up more than I can spread in there, and then I'll wind up having a bucket full of hard stuff, which is not what I want. Now I'm going to try kind of laying this down, rolling it over. Alright, let's mix up some more. I don't know if y'all want to see down in there. See, there my crack is down in there and over in there. So I want to do all that whole area down in there. Oh yeah. I might mix a little wetter batch this time. See if I can pour some out over here. Oh yeah, that's just what I wanted right there. Pour it right out. So I got a big crack over here that just split open, so what I'm going to do is mix up a bunch of this and pour it right in there. let it fill that crack right up. I'm about to lose everything I got here. I think that's pretty good, but what I need to do is I need to walk away from this. Give it a few minutes to kind of harden up, because like I say, when I moved that, just now that crack that I had previously sealed kind of opened up. That may not be a bad thing altogether in the long run, but because it allowed me to pour some of this right down into the crack. But I don't want to like keep working it back and forth and get it to a place where we've got a bunch of, I just don't, you know, I need it to seal up and harden up before I move it anymore. And I still got some open crack right over in here that I can get to. So I'm going to put this down, walk away. I don't know, go look at Facebook, check my email, do what people do when they're not doing this sort of thing. Whatever that is. I'll go look at some Mr. Heavy Chevy videos, or Cutworm videos, or Rusty Acres videos, or something like that. I think Rusty Acres got some new videos up. I saw him and his daughter out working on that Plymouth Valiant the other day, so I know he's got interesting stuff to look at. So, bring all up here and let you have a look down in there. It looks a little bit like the Apollo moon landing. But the crack used to be, well, you see a little bit of the crack over in here. So it used to run all the way across and all the way up to here and out there. So, and that's where the crack opened back up. So what I'll do is, when this is good and dry, I'll roll it back around and I'll put some down in there, seal that crack again. And then I'll need to turn it up and go after this crack up in here. And then I'll need to do the outside too. Oh, the joy. Alright, walking away now.